Who has been the fastest self-made billionaire in history? Jay Walker became a billionaire in less than a year, but Warren Buffett needed 55 years to achieve the same milestone. During the dot-com boom, he established Priceline.com and saw his fortune soar from zero to billions. The bubble broke and his net worth went down, but Buffett is still at the top, and he doesn't appear to be going anywhere anytime soon. Ideally, you'd like to accumulate a similar level of wealth. Welcome to Finance Dojo. We aim to be the best personal finance educational channel you'll ever need. Click that subscribe button and the notification bell right now so you won't miss out. It's not easy to play the money game. If you don't grasp the game's rules, you're condemned to fail. It's taut, competitive, and brutal. As a general rule, most individuals end up impoverished at the end of their life because they don't know how to use their money to produce more money. They have no idea how to invest. Assume you've been diligently saving and now have an additional $2,000 stashed away. That's a huge accomplishment, considering that roughly 70% of Americans don't even have an additional $1,000 in their bank accounts. Let's imagine you're going to invest that money instead of wasting it on another pointless device or a pair of shoes you'll wear once and then store it in your closet for years until you ultimately toss it away. But how do you invest your first $1,000? What do you plan to do with your money? Are you a stock investor? Is $1,000 a reasonable amount of money to begin investing? Those are just a few of the questions we'll be addressing. Consider the following scenario to better understand what investing is and how it works. If you worked hard and saved $300,000, you could go to a Ferrari dealership and buy a luxury automobile to show everyone how successful you are. Or you could buy real estate and rent it out. At least $2,000 will be paid to you every month. You may sell it and recoup your initial investment if you decide you no longer want to get that $2,000 income every month. Indeed, the value of your investment may increase, allowing you to sell it for a bigger profit. And that's how money generates revenue. However, $1,000 will not purchase your real estate. That isn't enough for a down payment. But that doesn't mean you can't put that money to work elsewhere and develop it. The simplest solution is to put it in a savings account and earn interest. But why should a bank pay you to keep your money in the bank? Isn't it more appropriate for them to charge you instead? No. The bank will take your money and lend it to someone else at a higher rate, and a percentage of the profit will be shared with you. In a nutshell, that's how banks operate. The only drawback to this method is that the interest rate on the deposit account is so low that it isn't worth it. You're most likely to get a rate of 0.8%. This means that if you put that $1,000 into a savings account now, you'll get an extra $8 in a year. This is exceptionally low because the Fed aims for a 2 to 3% inflation rate, which implies that if you don't obtain at least 2 or 3%, the real worth of your $1,000 will degrade over time, allowing you to buy fewer items each year. But why are bank account interests so low? Because interest rates are low this year as a result of the epidemic. The Fed has compelled to cut them to encourage everyone to borrow and spend. When we get out of this crisis in a year or two, the Fed will raise interest rates to 1, 2, or perhaps 3%, which implies savings account interest rates will climb as well. The second choice is to purchase government bonds. A government bond is a government-issued asset that is used to raise funds for government spending. Let's imagine the government wants to build a school, but doesn't have the funds to do so. Instead, it issues an IOU, a piece of paper that states that whoever possesses this security owes the government this much money plus interest. Of course, this is an oversimplification, but it illustrates the idea. Because interest rates are so low this year, government bond rates are less than 1%. However, 2 years ago, when interest rates were high, government bond rates were high as 3%, which isn't terrible because government bonds are the safest investments you can make. Any investment has some amount of risk. For example, what are the possibilities that the US government would default on its loan? The whole US economy may have to crumble for the US government to become bankrupt. As a result, US bonds are regarded as one of the safest investments in the world. However, if you want to get a bigger return, say 10%, 20%, or 30%, you might consider investing in the stock market. Amazon's stock price, for example, has surged by more than 80% only this year. Google's stock price increased by about 30%. The value of Tesla shares has risen by 721%. Yes, you did hear that correctly. 721% of the time. Why would anybody invest anywhere else when they can double or even treble their money in the stock market? Risk is the solution. There isn't much danger when it comes to government bonds. When it comes to particular firms, however, there is a danger that they will fail, that they will report negative results, and that any negative news would cause the stock price to fall. The firm may introduce a product, and if the public does not like it, unfavorable headlines may result, driving the price down. Therefore, larger gains come with increased risk. Apple is a well-established corporation with a lesser risk of failure than Tesla, but it also has less potential to develop. This is why Tesla grew by 721% this year, while Apple only grew by 70%. You must decide for yourself how much danger you can tolerate without going insane. If that $1,000 is all you have left, then risking it all isn't the best idea, since if things go wrong, you could lose the majority of it. Investing in an index is one option for investors to reduce their risk in the stock market. The most well-known is the S&P 500, which monitors the top 500 corporations in the United States. Hence, an index fund would invest in these top 500 companies. Some of these businesses will undoubtedly fail, while others will thrive. According to historical statistics, the S&P 500's average return rate during the 1920s has been roughly 10%. This means that purchasing a share of these index funds entails purchasing a small portion of the top 500 US corporations. VOO or Vanguard 500 Index Fund, Triple Q, an Invesco Index Fund, and Fidelity Zero Total Market Index Fund or FZROX are my three favorite index funds. They're all fantastic and invest in much the same firms. However, how do you go about purchasing shares in these index funds? Where do you even begin? To begin, you must locate a broker who is qualified to sell you stocks. It was always someone in the past. You had to pick up the phone and contact him to beg him to sell you some shares. Brokerage businesses such as Robinhood, Webull, and others have developed applications that allow you to buy stocks from the convenience of your smartphone. You only need to download one of these apps and join up to begin investing right now. I attempted to make this video as straightforward as possible so that anyone interested in investing may get started right away. As always, this video is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. You should always do your own research and speak to a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.